So our last bit of information on parameters, we might be wondering, what if we just have an individual ordered pair? So an x and a y. We have 1 point on our graph, and we want to know what happens to just that 1 point if we know the parameters of our function. So let's say that we are looking at them here. What ends up happening? We have our x gets transformed into this. It's our original x value over b plus h. What happens to our y value in our original ordered pair? Gets multiplied by a plus k. And that makes sense with what we know about our parameters. So a and b are both multiplicative, so you're multiplying or dividing. H and k are both additive. Okay, so they're being added or subtracted from our function. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say our function f of x is the square root of x. And we are transforming it into this function g of x, where we have 3 square root of negative 2 bracket x minus 1. And one thing to know here, this should be just to here, so that plus 4 is our parameter k. And I've actually got all of our parameters laid out for us. So a is 3, okay, so that's that parameter out in front of our function. B is negative 2, it's in by brackets beside the x. H is not a, that doesn't make any sense. H is 1, and k is 4. All right, so what would happen to an individual ordered pair 0, 0 as we transform from f of x to g of x? So I'm going to try to use my little bit of space that I've left myself here. So what would happen to my x value? Let's start by looking at that. Well, x is getting transformed by x over b plus h. So let's write that down. Let's fill in our h and our b values. So h is 1 and b is negative 2. So our x value, we're doing 0. 0 over a negative 2 plus 1. So my new x value would be 1. What about my new y value? When it gets transformed, we get transformed from f to g. It's a times y plus k. So what's my a value? It's 3 times by 0 plus my k value, which is 4. So my new y value would be 3 times 0 is 0 plus 4 is 4. So 0, 0 from f of x, when it's in g of x, it would become 1 and 4. That's how my individual point would get transformed from function f to function g.